Hello everyone. This is for part 2 of the project for CSC 4710. Now this is going to be a very short recording just because I wasn't able to get my code to work, but I'll go through and we'll look at, the code that I wrote. I don't know, again, I don't know exactly why it's not working. It's just been itching at me for the past few days. So once I can get it figured out, I feel like everything will come into play. But for right now, let's go ahead and run it. We're going to go ahead and save. Yes, save the selected. And then we're going to go into our Tomcat 9.0 server. We're going to do finish. Let's restart the server. Yep, it's gonna keep on. There you go. It's started. Alrighty. So there you go. So we have obviously an error here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go run into this specifically, and let's do that. We're gonna run into people server. Finish. Okay, there we go. So I was able to at least get it to display. And so like if I put in a title, so I'm gonna put like a white t-shirt, right? The description is bought from Walmart. Something like that. The price is gonna be like $10. The category we're gonna put it in shirts, fashion, stuff like that. And if we click on save, we encounter an error. So now it keeps saying that I have an error at test.student. And when I go back to that and I try to fix it, it still didn't work. So I kind of don't have an idea of why it's not working exactly. So in that case, I don't know. I've been going at it for a while now and it still hasn't been working, unfortunately. But let's go through the code and go in specifically to it. So we obviously have our store and basically put in the ID, title, description, date bought, yada yada yada, all that fun stuff that describes the people form inside the .gsp file. So basically, this is to initialize and put out the form that I had over here. If we go back to this is basically to say, hey, I want this form to display. And then the store is just to initialize those variables that you put in to it. So if I put a price in, for example, like $10, it'll say, oh, this is what the price will be. Now, what store DAO is basically just trying to connect it into the SQL database and trying to create that database through the Java and obviously, through SQL. And so obviously we have like you want to log into a user and a password, and then obviously like you have all your descriptions from here. So basically what it is just putting it into an SQL form is what it's doing. So going in through this again, explaining this basically outputs what we want to display on here. So now going to the other part. So I know so this was part 1 of part 2, or let's say number 1 of part 2. Now number 2 is to say implement a search interface, which I believe has been started. Yep. So I created what the search interface should look like. I still haven't written the code for like the Java code or the SQL code for it yet, just because I'm having a little issues with that. I don't know how to do that exactly. But basically, what this would do is that the search would be once I go into, for example, if I want to list all the items, which is not going to work in this case, but if I want to list all the items and I'd have, for example, like a box that says right here, all of this written down, I would have a little, I would have like a search menu right here, and I would, if I want to search up like shirts, then anything with the category that has shirts in it will pop up. Will show a whole list of it. Um, However, I haven't gotten that far to the Java part. Okay, so now going to review. So this is the .gsp. You know what? Let's go through this one. So review basically puts out like if the product was good, if the product wasn't good, um, and basically if this was to work, then anywhere that says list all items, or basically if you search something up, think of it like Amazon, for example. If you search something up and you have like a red blouse, for example, and then you scroll all the way to the bottom and there's reviews. So this is how it would kind of work in that case. Um, so this is how it would technically work. So once, for example, if all the items were here and I had like a white shirt, for example, you could click on it and then there would be like reviews about it, specifying like exactly what it is. So that's what this would do. And then, oh, so yes, actually, if I go to, where is it? Module info. This was a really weird one. I don't know how, I created it as a project in accident, and then I ended up with something with a module info, which I don't know how to reverse at this point. But you can see there's like a ton of errors here, and I don't know why. But basically, what this is just to define and go back to the .gsp. So it's this. So this is the DAO. Yes. So basically, it's to go back. If I can find it. If I can find it. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, I don't know where my review went. But in this case, I guess I just created the DAO for it. But in this case, this is basically like the SQL part of the store DAO. But I didn't write the Java, which I thought I did, but it must be somewhere around here. But I'm not going to waste any time. Obviously, you can see this in this portion, my online store somewhat doesn't work in initializing the database right now, and I'm working at it, but I can't figure it out. So um, hopefully in the next maybe week or so, I'll be able to figure it out. But in this case, this is all I have right now. Thank you.
Hi, this is Nadia. Today I'm going to show how I have worked on part 2 of the project. So in part 2 it says that I have to show the favorite items for a specific user. So this is the class file for different users. So they have like the ID and the usernames. And this is the DAO file, and I have created a table. And right now I'm having some difficulties to connect it with the server for these tables, but I'm working on it, so hopefully I will be like, finished with that pretty soon. So this is to show that this is the table right here, and it says item ID, username, and the primary key is the item ID and the username. And I have inserted these are some hard code. This is the item ID and the username. And this is to insert and delete from the items. Also, it said that we have to separate, like we have to show different like for a user, there should be some favorite seller. They can add the seller or they can remove the seller anytime. This is the DL file. So it's the same that I have created the table, but now I'm having some issues, but I am working on it, so I will be getting it done. So this is the favorite seller that I have. This is the table that I have created, and it should connect with the server. And this is my class file, the Java file. It shows the username and seller username. So the username will there will be username and also seller username, so they can both connect with each other. Like it's gonna show this username has this favorite seller of. So the seller username will be in the same page with the username, so anyone can see that this user likes this seller. This user added them as their favorite. And this is my JavaScript file. So here I have created this. Pretty much it works right now. So the only thing I have to do, so I am having some problems, but I have created some tables. These are some lists to go to different pages. So this one I have to add the posting an item. I will do it later. So, but we already have the code for now. So right now I'm working on connecting them. So this pretty much shows that I have everything done, but once like I get the connection toward the database, it will be good to go. And that's all. Thank you.